Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Airfield in the Caliban, another replay that was sent to replays.orst@yahoo.co.uk. I've not seen it, I've no idea what's going to happen, so we're going to talk a little bit about the tank. I'm going to tell you what was good, what was bad, and hopefully we'll be able to enjoy ourselves. Now, Caliban is the derp-mobile, right, and you can see HE shells are being loaded here, although that was weird. I think there was a graphical glitch there. But HE shells are being loaded. And let me tell you, these are some HE shells. They're 180mm of pen and 850 alpha damage. You've got two shells in this auto reloader, giving you a clip potential of 1,700 with these HE shells. God damn, that is smexy. What else is smexy as we're going forward here is that this gentleman appears to have a turbocharger, if my estimation is correct, as the top speed of this tank is 33 and he's getting up to 40 reliably here. Although, I don't know, now that he's on flatland, it's possible that he doesn't. 12 in reverse, anyway, some supplementary information. What I was going to say is sexy is having 10 degrees of gun depression, which you do on this tank. So you're going to feel good coming up to ridge lines over here. It's not like you're in a Chinese medium tank. You're going to wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night because you thought about Redshire too hard. In terms of armour, you have 250 on the front of the turret, 80 at the side, and 50 at the rear, or at least on paper. In reality, there's some weirdness going on with the graphical elements there, I think. What's I going to say? In reality, you've got 145mm of frontal armour on the turret, but that does work out to an effective armour of about 240, so 250 on paper is not really that far off of the mark. Now, as we start to engage an opponent on flat land here, as opposed to from above them, you have to... No, stop being bad, why? No, why are you going out here? Why? Not only do you put yourself in clip arc of a 5100, that thing has 6 shells, 100mm gun, 300 alpha damage, right? Oh god, 1,800 clip potential, 232mm of pen is gonna be able to go through you. But I suppose, talking about a 5100, right? Talking about a 5100, it's only got a 100mm gun. Why do I bring that up? Well, because the Caliban, one of its major disadvantages, is what we see here in this yellow duck-looking side of the tank. This is 35mm. 35! That is awful, absolutely awful armor, but 35 means that you can acquire a 105mm gun, a higher than 105mm gun to overmatch it, right? So, looking at the 5100, the one benefit I can think about doing this is, oh yeah, he won't be able to just shoot anywhere on my side and overmatch. But frankly, if you've got a 105mm gun or higher, and you're engaging a Caliban, and you see any of its side, shoot there, and you're pen. As long as you're firing AP, it's an easy pen. It's a huge weakness of this tank. You know what else is a huge weakness of this tank? Apparently, is the person playing it. There's a 5100 stuck behind a knockout here. What's he gonna do? He's gonna sit there for the entire game. If we stayed up there, what can that 5100 possibly do? Well, he's gonna come yelling down here below us. We're gonna HE pen and he feckin' dies. There's nothing he could do. This tank right here is one of the most irrelevant French heavy tanks I have ever seen, based purely on positioning. Add to that, we got two Scorpions unspotted, and we know the SU is back there. And you've got the T-34, something with 10 degrees of gun depression and pretty impressive target armor right above you. Going here from a tactical standpoint is absolutely asinine. Having been shown the battle results screen of this game, frankly, I can't believe this is happening. Because the idea that he survives what he's doing right now and actually has a decent result is honestly offensive to me. So let's see what happens. 5100 chillin'. Situational awareness, man. Good to see ya. Good to see ya indeed. You're gonna get one shot? Well, yeah, 3.75 seconds between the shells, and that's a double pin. I mean, congratulations, you've killed the most irrelevant tank on the battlefield. Okay, compensating. He buggered off. Thank the Lord. Okay. If you stayed there and tried to engage the T-34, I was going to have an aneurysm. Okay, alright. You got out, you killed him, luckily he didn't take shots from the Scorpion and the other unspotted Scorpion, so okay. Plays were made, poorly judged in my estimation, but hey ho. I'm seeing that his view range on the map appears to be just below max, which makes sense due to the fact that this thing has 370 meters of view range. So ain't that swell? What am I thinking at this point? Well, I'm thinking there's no real need for me to do anything here, right? Just play passively, work my gun depression, watch for the occasional shot. What you've got to think about in the Caliban is that your baseline load is, what, 23.97 for the first shell? Are you going to sneak a shot that... Ooh, track, no actual damage. 23.9 seconds, 97 seconds for the first shell, and then 38.35 for the second. Firing 2 shells in this tank is an investment. An incredible investment. So firing only 1 will keep your DPM at a base value of 2,127.72, which, while that isn't good, is better than what you get by enduring a 38-second reload for that second shell. So, ain't a little bitch. Alright, what else can we talk about? I mean, you're seeing him take blind shots, which, given unspotted Scorpions and SUs, is absolutely viable in this circumstance when there's nothing else going on. And see if he can poke there. He waits a bit until he is loaded, which I like to see. Obviously, if he accidentally fires the second shell, I'm going to be mad about it. I'm going to be very mad. But we've got 0.58 accuracy on this tank. 0.58 with a 4.1 second aim time. Honestly, it's good that you have 2 shells. What the hell is going on with the modeling of that T-34? Oh lord, that's hilarious. It's good that you have 2 shells, because with 0.58 accuracy, I mean 4.1 second aim time, I mean the chance of you actually hitting when you're aiming in this tank is minimal, to say the least. And especially when we're shooting at distance as we are here. Another factor that you should bear in mind is that this thing, with HE, 354 meters per second shell travel time. 354. Just to put in perspective, the worst shell travel time in the entire game. And he's not poking for the shot, waiting for his shell to reload. I like to see that. Doesn't want to put himself down to endure that really long reload. Targets the hull and does pick it up. Beautiful. What the hell was I saying? I've forgotten now. I'm sure it was something important and manly, and anyhow. Let's look at this circumstance. Honestly, I might be tempted at this point to relocate to the heavy flank and just maybe try for a blind fire at this Scorpion. But that's purely for comedy value as opposed to some massive tactical precedence. Oh yes, slowest shell in the game. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you. Slowest shell in the game is 182 meters per second. That is found on some of the low-tier British howitzers, as an example. And this thing is barely double that. It's not even double that. So, aiming shells at distance in the Caliban, I mean, it's a task. It's a task and a half. At least with the AP with 292 millimeters of pen and the lacking 600 alpha damage, you get a shell travel time of 500, which is a moderate bit more tolerable when you're shooting at distance. But the HE is where the memes are at, and the HE is where our heart lies. And this looks like a good blind fire to me. I was getting excited for looking at the kill feed there. That's a shame. I do think that's a decent blind fire to be taking, though maybe be a bit more careful about the exposure. And okay, now it's getting a bit tense. We're down by almost 3,000 health. And it looks like we are losing the heavy side. So, generally speaking, in water tanks, when you are losing one side, you want to counter that with aggression on the other side. Right? Generally, if we look at this map, if we're losing this side, we want to win this side. If we're winning this side, we want to defend this side. Right? Because we win one side, we hold here, and then we box the enemy team into this one area. That's essentially what the enemy team have done, or are trying to do in this circumstance. They get tanks up here, occupy these positions, we're stuck in this corner here. Now, that's not necessarily an awful thing right now. Why do I say that? Well, look at the enemy team's composition. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TDs. Five paper, very defensively orientated TDs. They are not hugely threatening in an assault capacity. You know, trying to engage G-Saws and Calibans at close quarters, it's not their forte. So I'm not immediately uncomfortable with the state of affairs. What I might like to do at this point is try and relocate along here, perhaps take a blind fire at the enemy bush location, take out the M4A1, and occupy these positions, or maybe go back to base and defend around here, or occupy this position. That way I could still shoot at the middle, as well as covering a from north. So that would be my thoughts right now. I'm noticing that he's taken the time to reload AP here, obviously aware that if he's only got 2 HE shells left that he could load into his tank. It's worth noting here, we do have a 152mm gun, 152.4, so the overmatch mechanic is certainly a viable thing that you can exploit with AP in this tank. And you've got to really consider this, mate. You've got to really consider this. You can't go low. You cannot go low. It's not going to work. You come up behind that lurver, take a hit from the TDs. Like, this just is not viable in any way. And I'm doubtful you're going to get anything there. Lurver gets himself killed, though, coming over the top, which is nice. Yeah, I wouldn't be down here at all. This area of the map, in my opinion, has no future. I've been relocating back to base because you can't push this. You cannot push this area. It's completely asinine to even try. And I like to see the relocation here. I like to see... No. No. 4.1 seconds of aim time. Don't. Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? Okay, everything was wrong with that. Oh no. ELC got hit by a shell that was bigger than he was. Jesus. That was ridiculous. Okay, so as I say, enemy is lacking in capacity to make a combined effective assault. And it looks like our team has spread out, which is oddly tactically superior in this circumstance. I've been relocating to the north of the map at this point. Why? Because I don't fear an assault from the enemy team here. I really don't fear an assault from the enemy team. What are they going to do? Come over here, come low. If they come low, this guy has a field day. If they come high, Caliban retreats behind here, and you got the T-103 there, and this guy in position to relocate here. I don't think, given the multi-level engagement that we have established, that we need 2 people in this front position here. I really don't think we do. So I've been relocating elsewhere because I believe this flank is strong enough in my absence that it doesn't need my presence here, and I can be much more useful elsewhere, taking out people like this T-44 with my 600 alpha damage on these AP shells. 292mm are pen, as I may well have mentioned earlier, and where do you go at this point? You've got to be aiming right here. And that spot tells you a lot. Oh. I was gonna say the only real place you could have been spotted from was there, but that's completely wrong and bullshit. So yeah, you got spotted from there. Hey, now we know where the M4A1 is. I was gonna say you've got to be looking right on this corner because of the M4A1's presence in this bush area, right? However, he's popped up here. How nice of him. Don't snapshot him. 12 degrees of gun elevation, lads. 12 degrees. 2 degrees more elevation than you have gun depression. Nice multi-spot damage on the UDES there. And he's powering. I like this. I like this minor decision. It may not seem that minor. It may not seem that major, but it is, honestly. The choice of whether to go right up here or left here. Taking you left takes you towards your team. It gives you more avenues of potential support and safety. If you had gone there, you are between enemy team and enemy team. I think if you had gone right and up here, it would have resulted in you losing this game, just from a tactical perspective. So, let's see, back towards our team, hopefully towards a kill on the T-44. T-44 is going to be wielding a 100mm gun with 250 alpha damage, no doubt. So you can take one shot. Now I think it has something like 183mm of pen. So it's likely that if you show him your frontal armor, he's going to have trouble, given you, like your lower plate even is 190mm of effective, upper plate being 220. And this is risky. M4A1, 200mm of APCR pen. Good pen on the heat. Okay. I like the aggression, but it was dangerous. You were a one-shot for that, gentleman. And admittedly, while he struggled to pen you frontally with AP or APCR, you coming around the corner like that exposes your 35mm of side armor on that drive wheel, which I would have been very concerned about. Oh dear. Well, Belly, you wish you had HE loaded now. 0.58 accuracy, 500 meters per second shell travel time, and he gets the tracking shot by pure skill. Woo! Okay, well, that's a game in the Caliban. That was an ace tanker, actually, believe it or not. I don't want to show you the email because that would out the email address, but the email has the Puds Battle results in it, and it was an ace tanker. There were a lot of missteps in this game. A lot of missteps. You weren't hugely lucky with the RNG, so it's nothing handed to you on a plate or anything like that. But gameplay for me, distinctly average. Distinctly average. A lot of tactical missteps. For example, going out wide to kill the 5100 when he was in a very dangerous position and also a very irrelevant position. There was no need to take the risk that you did in going out to kill him. You could have just stayed on the high ground and waited, right? He can't move. If he goes forward, you shoot him. If he goes backwards, you shoot him. Going out to get him risked you being engaged and killed, which, in my opinion, was a poor play. As funny as it was to two-shot a tier 8 heavy tank, don't get me wrong. And yeah, a bit too passive in the middle when it became clear that relocating to the other side might have been more profitable. Other than that, not bad at all. Average game, nice ace tanker. nothing to complain about. So thank you very much for sending it in. And yeah, if you would like to see your When You Play get commented on, send it to whenyouplayers.wolst@yahoo.co.uk, and I shall take a look and see what we can learn. So, thank you very much, and say hi to Twitch chat. I've been here the whole time. Hi Twitch, how you doing? How you doing? God, you're so handsome. Okay. Alright. I'll give you your moment to say your piece, chat, and then I'll do the YouTube outro. Hey, the T95's in chat. Hi, T95. I like your arse armor. It's 50mm. I love to put HE shells up it. Okay. Alright, so thank you everyone and farewell.
Like in a roleplay game, you wield a dagger but get smashed from half a globe away. But don't worry, mate. He's sorry, eh? You could have known though, it's all the same story, eh? You better not berate him. He is living in the country next to the US with oil fields, but they never got invaded. So let's go, rap flows for Honest Gaming's backbone. His voice alone makes random women wetter than in sex.